Am I muted? I don't know if I'm muted or not. Sorry, I'm just playing Minecraft again because I really don't want to draw. To be completely honest, I don't know. It just does not sound appealing. So Minecraft is background. I'll probably gonna end up stop playing the game like halfway through the stream because I tend to do that once I start talking about something like I cannot multitask. So my brain is just like, nope, we're done doing that task. We're doing the task of talking now. But I guess we will see. I'm gonna make a new world because I just like building shit, and I made this world to build shit on stream, and then I ended the stream. So, um, but hi Rev. Let me just creative mode real quick because I hate survival mode. Um, yeah, you're good. I recognize you, so I mean. I just wanted to ramble and shit. I don't know. I keep seeing these retarded TikToks. I don't like have I put it on creative and peaceful. I just like building shit. Sometimes I'll build a bunch of shit so that I'm prepared and then switch to survival, but like I just want to be able to build shit freely. I don't want to have and I hate the actual mining part of Minecraft too. And like you can't progress past a certain point without having like iron and shit, and it's I don't like it. I keep seeing these dumb TikToks though that are like people being like, haha, whatever, basically being like, oh, Calvin Gara ruined, I had a Calvin Gara phase, whatever. And people like equating Calvin Gara to all of transmedicalism, and like, first of all, fucking Calvin Gara was 17 when he was on YouTube. So I honestly feel bad for him that like shit was years ago, right? Like, and like if you're someone who was like personally affected by him as in someone that he made a video about, like I understand still being like, oh, I hate him or whatever because it affected you personally because he personally talked about you. But like all these people on the internet who like weren't even like cognizant humans who were like 14 fucking years old, who weren't even like around on the internet whenever Calvin Gara was a thing, being like, Calvin Gara. And I'm like, okay, like I am not a big Calvin Gara person, right? Like I didn't whenever he was big on YouTube, I was really into atheist content. So I didn't even really watch him that much. Like I think I was subscribed to him, but I watched like like the video popped up on my recommended, sure I'll watch it, like kind of like that, not like I actually seeked out. And like that's not shade to him. It was just like I watched like atheist content. Like it just wasn't really something that was what I usually watch. Like I was a transmed before Calvin Gara became popular, and I was a transmed because honestly I grew up and because I am trans, and generally whenever something is important to me I want to understand how it works, and I'm not stupid, so I look at actual research instead of wiki pages and Tumblr and shit. Like me becoming a transmed was not related to Calvin Gara, I guess you could say, even though I did watch him from time to time. But it's just so ridiculous seeing people like years later, whenever Calvin was like fucking 17 years old, like constantly just being like, ugh, Calvin Gara. And I'm like, first of all, dude has not uploaded in like ages. Like, y'all are seriously petty. Come the fuck on. Like, are y'all really mad that some 17-year-old you disagreed with uploaded videos in 2016 that you disagreed with? Get the ever-loving fuck over yourself. Like, it's just really irritating, especially because, like, I didn't watch a lot of his content, so I could be wrong, but he wasn't even really that bad, if I remember correctly. I mean, it was kind of the tone on YouTube at the time to just be a dick. And, like, don't get me wrong, it doesn't make it okay, right? Like, there's a lot of YouTubers that I watched whenever Calvin Gara was, like, a big thing, and, like, like, the 2016, 2017 era that I don't like anymore because they never moved on from that kind of edgy, I'm just gonna be mean and make mean jokes at other people's... Like, for example, TJ, right? Like, Amazing Atheist. I used to watch him all the time. I don't really watch him anymore because I don't really get any enjoyment out of seeing him yell at people. And I used to. That used to be like cathartic to me, and now it really just, maybe he's changed his content. I don't know. I haven't watched TJ slash Amazing Atheist in years, so maybe he's changed. But for a long time, he didn't. If he has, so like. But, like, compared to YouTubers like TJ at the time, like, who were popular, like, he really, yeah, like, he wasn't that bad. And again, he was 17. Like, why are we still, years later, being like, Calvin Garr is literally the worst, like, trans person to ever live on the planet and ruined my life, parentheses, someone who has never spoken to him or interacted with him. And you're talking about a literal, like, 17-year-old YouTuber at a time whenever YouTube was filled with people like Leafy, and fucking like commentary was basically Leafy or Amazing Atheist or shit like that, where it's literally just people yelling at other people and being mean to them, when that isn't even what he was doing. Like, he was tame compared to a lot of like political or commentary YouTubers at the time. And it's just like, y'all are seriously little fucking piss babies about this shit, I swear to God. And I feel bad for him because, like, he's an adult now. And this shit is still, like, people are basically just still being like, oh yeah, some shit you did whenever you were 17 makes you, like, objectively the worst person ever. Especially whenever I don't even remember his content being all that vitriolic either. At least maybe it's just because of in comparison to the content at the time. That could be the case, but, like, I don't know. It just feels so dumb. Yeah, like, Buck Angel is so much worse. Like, Calvin Garr was an immature fucking teenager being kind of snarky on YouTube. Oh God, how dare he? Like, oh no, that's never happened before. What a rarity. Like, and then, yeah, there's fucking people like Buck Angel who are, like, just, like, blatantly transphobic. And it's like, y'all saying trans meds are transphobic whenever most of his content boiled down to, like, you can't be autism gender, which is a pretty reasonable stance to take. And, like, and then and like, that's the worst. But no one talks about Buck Angel, right? Like, no one's sitting there making all these TikToks about how Buck Angel ruined their baby trans era, right? Or how Buck Angel is ruining, like, one of the comments that I saw said ruined life for trans masks. Like, no one is saying that Buck Angel is, like, ruining the lives of young trans men and trans masks. Like, and Buck Angel is more well-known than Calvin Garr, too, which makes it so, like, why are y'all so fixated on this fucking damn kid who was 17 making snarky YouTube videos saying that you can't be autism gender? I don't know who Buck Angel is, TBH. He's, like, this older trans man who's, I think he's, like, 60 or something, who's basically like, I am a woman. Like, I'm a man, I identify as a man, but I know that I'm a woman. And so are all other trans men, and vice versa for trans women, and is, like, against children receiving any type of trans healthcare, like, even, like, hormone blockers and stuff, which are safe and reversible, or, like, even, like, a 17-year-old going on hormones or things like that. Basically against validating trans kids in any capacity, which sometimes is wishy-washy on if it extends to medically or if it extends to socially or not, because he came out as a kid. But then he's also like, oh, but validating trans kids bad. There's a lot of shit with him. He's just not a great person. He's basically a trans turf. But it's just, like, funny to me that, like, I never see inclusionists talk about Buck Angel. I see a lot more trans meds getting mad at Buck Angel than I ever do inclusionists, and it's like, y'all are mad at someone who doesn't post anymore and who was a freaking child whenever they did post. And you're not talking about Buck Angel, though. Like, you will shit on someone who hasn't posted a YouTube video in years and was a child. But God forbid we actually discuss someone who is active, who does constantly talk about shit and insert himself into conversations, who, like, is actually harmful instead of just a 17-year-old kind of immaturely discussing serious topics. Like, come the fuck on. This is his YouTube bio. For reference, I presume that this is Buck Angel. I'm a transsexual man who was born a biological female. I transitioned 31 years ago to live life looking like a male. I am a... Oh my God. Yeah, okay, that pretty much sums him up. he's very much one of those, like, I don't know, yeah, like, oh, well, you can call yourself this, but you're not actually this. And applies it to himself too, like misgenders himself in name of acting like that. Like, not even Blair White does that shit. I mean, to be fair, I don't think Blair White is the worst. I don't like her conservative opinions, but her trans opinions are like, I don't agree with everything she says, but she's actually, I kind of checked up on her. She's not as bad as I remembered her being. Minus the conservative stuff. I still don't like her because she's conservative, but in regards to trans stuff, like, even she's not like that. She just kind of sits there and takes it when conservatives treat her like that, as opposed to being like, you're right, totally. Like, she just kind of fucking takes it, which is kind of sad, honestly. But yeah, no, he's like full turf shit. He could have just said, I'm a trans man. Yeah, literally. But then that would be validating other trans people, and he can't do that. Oh no. I don't know. It's just weird to me that, like, inclusionists are so hung up on Calvin Garra, who's basically irrelevant at this point, and don't talk about people like Buck Angel. Like, and also again, like, the acting like it, like, ruined their life to watch a Calvin Garra video, and I'm like, people will literally act like it ruined their entire teenage years to have watched one singular Calvin Garra video, and, like, I'm just like, y'all, if y'all's lives were ruined by watching one opinionated YouTube video, it's not the video that ruined your life, it's you for being so goddamn influenceable. Like, that is kind of not his fucking fault if watching one damn YouTube video ruined your life. Like, nah, man, that's on you. That's sad. That's some pathetic shit. Like, I'm sorry, but that's really yikes. That's a big yikes. Like, I've literally, like, I'm not exaggerating. I've seen people be like, oh yeah, whenever I first came out, I found Calvin Garra, and he just made me feel so horrible about my gender that I wanted to kill myself, and it took me so long to uncat self whatever, and I'm like, bruh, if watching a Calvin Garra video made you want to kill yourself, I don't think that the problem is Calvin Garra. I think you need fucking therapy. Like, I don't think that that's really the fault of Calvin Garra. I think that there is something wrong with you. And I mean that both to be mean because these people are stupid, and in a serious sense that genuinely, if watching a YouTube video makes you want to kill yourself, you need therapy. Like, like, that just astounds me. To be fair, young people are easily influenced, but to blame someone for ruining their... Yeah, like, I can understand being like, I don't agree with this opinion anymore, and if I hadn't watched this YouTube channel, I probably wouldn't have held an opinion that I believe is now harmful. Like, that's fair. I used to be an inclus. I probably wouldn't have been an inclus if I hadn't had a shitty ex who was an inclus, right? Like, but... like, to say, like, people are literally going around being like, it ruined my understanding of my transness and made me want to kill myself because it made me feel so much worse about who I was, and it was like the worst thing ever. And I'm like, y'all, you had an opinion that you don't hold anymore. You used to have an opinion and you don't have that opinion anymore. That's really fucking it. I used to be an inclusionist. I'm not going to say it ruined my life to have been an inclusionist because I had a stupid gender identity for a couple months. Like, no, it was cringy and I'm embarrassed of that shit, but, like, it didn't fucking ruin my life to be an inclusionist for, like, a year and a half. It was just stupid and I don't agree with it anymore. It's really not that damn deep. And, like, again, if it made you, like, hate yourself and want to kill yourself and shit, that's really not the fault of some random teenage YouTuber. That's, like, the fault of the mental health system that, again, a YouTube video could make you that, insecure or that mentally ill or whatever. Like, that is not a healthy response to watching something that you no longer agree with. It's just really, really ridiculous to me. And, like, don't get me wrong, I don't blame people for, like, being like, oh, I wish I hadn't watched this content creator. It really negatively influenced the way I acted towards other people or the way that like, for example, I mentioned Amazing Atheist, right? Like, I used to watch him a lot. I kind of had an angry Reddit atheist phase because of him, and I don't like that. I'm not proud of that. I do think that it gave me a really bad outlook on how to express my views, right? Like that if I just yell at other people and pretend that they're idiots, then somehow I'm better and I'm right, right? Like, and I don't think that that's productive. I don't like making why am I not on peaceful mode? I don't like making my own content like that. Like, I don't think that there's any merit in that. And like, don't get me wrong, I do, sometimes I get pissed off in like individual conversations and I'll be like, dude, you're stupid or whatever, right? Like if I'm just done with the conversation and I'm like, this is ridiculous. But like to actually have a discussion that you believe is going to be productive like that is just like, yeah, like the point is like, I don't like how that content made me express my own views. That does not mean that does not mean that TJ the Amazing Atheist is evil because 16-year-old me watched his video and got really aggressive about religion, right? Like, it does not, I'm not proud of that, and, I may have still acted like that had I not watched his content. I may not have, I will never know, but, like, he's not evil because 16-year-old me was influenced to be mean to religious people. Like, ultimately, that was my own choice, and blaming other people for it is really dumb. And like, same thing goes for if you're no longer a transmed and you think being a transmed is genuinely harmful. Like, okay, cool, you can change your views. It's totally fine. I think that it's a stupid direction to change your views in, but like, that's still your own choice. But ultimately blaming like one YouTuber for your entire, anything is just ridiculous. People are just like exorbitantly stupid sometimes. I don't know. Accountability is dead. Blame YouTubers. Thank you. I like this house. This is how I build literally every house, but like so it's not very unique, but it's fine. Just heard one of the cats scramble. Oh, okay, I guess my boyfriend is checking on her. I don't know what happened. I just heard him talking to the cats. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels dumb. And, like, that doesn't just apply to people talking about Kelvin Gara, right? Like, I've seen people say that about, like, a lot of shit. But, like, ultimately your own actions and beliefs are still your responsibility, whether or not they were influenced by someone else. Like, I've seen a lot of people, talk about that with watching people like, like Leafy or whatever, where they, like, said a bunch of offensive shit because they thought it was funny. And then be like, well, it's because of this YouTuber. And it's like, yeah, like, let's not discredit the fact that people have influence on how other people act, especially public figures. That is something worth talking about. But, like, to just entirely remove any blame from yourself for harmful shit you did because, well, this YouTuber did it, so I thought it was okay, is like, no, dude. We can have a discussion about how content influences people's opinions and behaviors and how that needs to be, appropriately regulated, especially regarding children. That conversation does not need to include you refusing to, take accountability for shitty stuff you did. Like, I know I was a dick to religious people whenever I was in high school and middle school. I'm aware of that. I, don't pretend that I wasn't. I know that I still can be now. Like, I'm definitely not exempt now from doing that sometimes. Because sometimes, I get angry and I get pissed off and I'm like, this is really fucking stupid, right? But, like, I don't know. It's like people are allergic to admitting that maybe in the past they did in fact have bad opinions. It always has to be someone else's fault. And it's even stupider whenever the person that you're blaming again was a fucking 17-year-old. Like, half of y'all were older than him when you were watching that content. Please keep your goddamn mouth shut. I swear to Christ. It's just... Have you seen religious people freaking out over the eclipse? Yeah, I have. It's honestly really funny. I'm kind of I really want to see, like, a video of people being like, whenever the eclipse, didn't cause the rapture or whatever. Like, I want to see reactions about that, and I haven't. Honestly, like, that shit was both depressing and funny as hell. Like, it was like, oh god, these people are like, there's something wrong here. Like, this is not fucking normal. But it was also like, it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. I don't know. Like, eclipses happen, dude. I don't know. It's giving warrior cats. It's giving soul. Uh, that's what it's giving. I heard a woman killed her husband and children and then herself because of the eclipse. Holy shit. That is fucked. Jesus Christ. People do... I mean, like, I can't even really fully blame religion for that, honestly. Like, usually... I mean, religion can feed into mental health issues, but honestly, that sounds like some religious psychosis shit, and that's sad. Like, you know, like I said, religious psychosis... So much religious psychosis is actually just played off whenever you're in a religious community, and it's really fucked up. Like, that shit... I mean, I don't know about that specific case, because you just told me about it. This is, like, the first I'm hearing of it, so I'm not gonna say that this is the case for, like, that. I don't even know if she had religious psychosis. It could be, you know, something completely different. But it is, like, fucked up how religion can basically, like, not always, obviously, but, like, can, you know, enable psychosis, because if you're hearing and talking to God, or you believe that you're chosen by God or whatever, people, especially in, like, specifically, like, evangelical communities and whatever, are just gonna believe that. Like, it gets enabled a lot. And if you've ever seen videos of people online talking about experiencing religious psychosis, like, there will be comments, if there's enough views on it, for of religious people being like, that wasn't mental illness, God is actually speaking to you, like, God chose you, whatever. And it's like, dude, this is a person with severe mental health issues, and you're enabling their delusions because of your fucking religion. Like, actually, what the fuck is wrong with you? I mean, there's a lot worse issues with religion than just that, you know, but, like, that is something that I just cannot understand, how people can say things like that and then have any self-respect. Like, I don't know. That is the wrong color sink. Where's a gray sink? It's a light gray kitchen sink, I guess. This is from the same pack. They should be the same color somewhere. Okay, did we just not have the same color sink? Is that, like, not an option? Even though this is from the same mod pack? I guess not. That's close enough, I guess. I don't know. I have such a hard time with, like, being empathetic towards religious people, especially because, like, this is an autism thing, I think, but I just generally have a very hard time with, like, empathy over sympathy, where it's really, really hard for me to be empathetic to something that I've never personally experienced, which I know is, like, a bad thing, but it's something that's, like, I don't, like, I more so have cognitive empathy than, I guess, like, proper empathy whenever it comes to things that I haven't personally experienced. And, you know, on one hand, I know that that's not great. On the other hand, I can't force myself to feel something, right? Like, I can learn cognitive empathy and basically teach myself how to feel empathetic towards people that I do not share experiences with. But it is really hard with religion because, like, I mean, I've mentioned this a million times. I've never been religious. So, you know, it's obviously I don't have that personal experience. So to me, it all just seems really ridiculous. And I'm like, how am I supposed to empathize with you whenever you believe something stupid? And I try and avoid, like, wording it like that in videos, you know, right? Because, one, I do have viewers who comment who are religious, and I don't, you know, I appreciate comments from religious people and stuff genuinely. I don't want to alienate those people, basically. And also just, like, it's not productive. Like, there's, you know, I'm not going to have a productive conversation with someone by basically just being like, your religion is stupid, right? So, and also that's just not very nice. But, like, it does make it really hard for me to really like get it, I guess. I'm just like, that's obviously not true. Like, that is just blatantly untrue. How do you believe that? That is just untrue. Like, what could possibly possess you to hold that belief? My friend is the same way. She's autistic and has low empathy, but she's not a bad person. I love her. She's awesome and talented. She's giving me the most helpful and best advice in tough situations. Yeah, something that I feel like I don't think I necessarily give good advice, but something that's hard for me is that usually whenever people come to me to vent, I'm not very good at being the like, oh, there, are you okay? I'm just like, okay, well, here's how you fix it. Or like, do you want me to do this? Do you want me to do that? Do you want me to do this thing that might make it easier? Or like, that kind of thing. Or again, as well as like, you know, just like, oh, well, you know, if you did this, then this would probably fix it or whatever. And it frustrates people that I do that because, you know, a lot of the time when someone's coming to you to vent, they don't want like, okay, but here's how you fix it. They just want like, you know, I'm sorry, that sucks. Which is like I'm not saying that as like that's a bad thing. Like I get like that too. I don't always want advice or how to fix it, you know, whenever I'm upset, but it's just like it's hard to do, I guess. But I mean, that does make it harder like talking about religion though, because it is like, you know, something that I'm like, I've never experienced this. I genuinely, I don't want to use the word stupid, but I can't think of a better word because I don't think religious people are stupid. Like, that's not what I mean when I say stupid. I guess, like, oblivious? I don't know the right word. Like just like blissful ignorance, I guess, right? Like, ignorance is probably the better word. And it just like, I don't know. It's just something that like I can't rationalize, and I've pretty much had to teach myself how to talk about it in a way where I am not censoring myself because I am morally opposed to that. Where I'm not censoring myself about my beliefs on it, but I'm also not being a dick. You know, and that does very much depend on the person, because to some people, any criticism or even disagreement with their religion is being a dick, and to some people, if you're like, I don't really understand why you believe that, I don't agree, but, you know, we can coexist, let's move on, is fine. And to some people, that's, well, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why don't you believe? Why don't you agree? You know, like, it's, people get very defensive about their religion. Do you have any religious friends or people you care about? I mean, I made a video about this a long time ago. I'm not friends with this person anymore, but I did have a really good friend for a long time who was actually in an evangelical cult. And a lot of my dad's side of the family is Nazarene, but honestly, I really don't end up staying friends with religious people because most religious people don't, not of my own accord, mind you, but like maybe it's because I'm from Texas, so everyone that I knew that was religious was like very religious. It wasn't just like casually religious, but was like very, if you don't agree with me, then I'm gonna try and proselytize to you. It doesn't matter how much you keep it to yourself. I will try and convert you. Like, if you're not, even if you are religious and you're just not super openly religious, they will assume that they need to convert you. Not saying that of all religious people, just a lot of people that, you know, I was around. I do have a friend on Discord who's religious, but I'm gonna be real, like, anytime we talk, we've had one good discussion about religion where we were both kind of like, okay, she's like, okay, I'm not trying to convince you, and I was like, I'm not trying to unconvince you, because we were just talking about theology specifically. It wasn't really about belief, it was more like theology, like in literal terms of, like, Bible reading. But I don't really think there's anyone that's actually close to me who's religious, because obviously religion is my special interest and I cannot shut up about it, and I don't like to water down my beliefs in order to make people more comfortable. So, you know, that doesn't tend to go over well whenever you're very, very close with someone, and something that you are basically physically incapable of stopping talking about is how much you disagree with their strongly held fundamental beliefs. But I mean, I do have like family and not close friends who are religious. It's just like most religious people, if you're close to them and repeatedly talking about why you think religion is harmful and all of the flaws in the Bible and, like the contradictions and shit like that, like it's just not something that religious people want to hear constantly, so they don't tend to stick around as a friend. My nana told me I gotta get right with God. Oh my god. My grandma actually doesn't know I'm an atheist because my dad won't let me tell her. He's an atheist too. He's been an atheist for over 20 years. She still does not know that. Honestly, I think she's probably gonna die not knowing because my dad refuses to let anyone tell her. Which, I mean, she's fragile and she wouldn't be like angry. She would just be like really upset, like hurt almost. Which like I get, but like I don't like lying about it. It does not. I'm really incapable of holding in my beliefs about religion, and it makes it very hard to be around her. Oops, I accidentally sent it to her. Oh, okay, I was like, my grandmother what? I'm just making a house. Just for the vibes, no particular reason. Mostly just because I need something in the background to be doing. I don't know. It's so frustrating. It's something that I just cannot wrap my head around and really, really irritates me. I think I'm pretty much done with the inside of the house. I should sleep so that I don't get teleported if something happens to me. Oh, that's nice. Sorry, I kind of didn't know. I lost my train of thought from the Minecraft. I don't really know what I was talking about. I mean, I do, but like I don't know where to go with it, and there's nothing new in the chat to respark my brain. I don't think I knew that you had a twin brother. Huh, cool. I have a brother, but he is not a twin. Oh, I guess my brother counts as a religious person I'm close to, but he's a Buddhist, so it's not really the same thing. I don't even know if he is still a Buddhist, to be honest. I think he is, because we briefly talked about it the other day, but I don't know. Maybe he's not. I don't know. He was at some point, though, if he's not still one. But, yeah, I guess he counts. But it's not really, it's not really the same. Beach house. The outside is ugly because I'm too lazy to put the stairs on the roof to make it look pretty. I'm gonna make a pool. Even though there's a beach right there. Well, I'm glad he changed it. People do, in fact, change sometimes. He also might have just not understood. I don't know. My parents were never transphobic at all. But they were confused for a while, where they would do things that seemed transphobic, but they weren't like intentionally transphobic. They were just like, I don't understand this. I am doing horrible with the multitasking. I'm so sorry. My brain is like turned off. Oh, I didn't realize y'all could hear the clicking. I'm sorry. Well, I'm glad it's not annoying. Because I'm clicking a lot to delete the sand. I'm making a pool. I feel like I had something else that I wanted to talk about, and it's like not entering my brain. Wait. I'm not sure I really follow that. I'm sorry. That thing about the gender clinic. I'm a little out of it. That's awesome. Well, not the wait, but the rest of it. The fact that you actually got to go. For some reason, whenever I did my shot on Thursday, it like bled like crazy, and I don't know why. Like, I've never had it. I mean, sometimes it bleeds like a teeny tiny itty bitty bit, like a little bit, but like I've never had it bleed like that, and it kind of concerned me. I think I probably just hit it in a weird spot, to be honest, but like, because it doesn't hurt or anything. It's, you know, it's been a while. There's nothing like wrong with it. It was just very jarring. I was like, what the, why the fuck are you bleeding like all over my bed? This is a tiny ass needle. I did it the same way I always do it. Why the fuck are you bleeding? And it kind of freaked me out, but it's obviously fine. It was a while ago, and now it's, you know, healed and whatever, but it was just weird. I'm thinking I probably just hit a weird spot. Oh, Avatar. Okay, I was like, I don't know what... There was a typo that was confusing me. That water looks so drinkable. Yeah, I love this shader. Oh, it's getting dark. Okay, is it raining? Is that... Yeah, it's raining. Yay. I say sarcastically, I hate rain in Minecraft, and I know I can cheat and turn it off, but I don't remember how, and I'm lazy. And I think last time I tried to do that, it didn't even work, so... Watching Avatar is always a good solution, though, honestly. Greetings, I have risen from the grave. Hello. This is a fucking ugly ass pool. This is sad. Why is the Minecraft screen so small? Because usually I have two monitors. So that I can see the comments, but I don't right now because my tablet is being weird. So it's small so that I can still see the chat. Gotta make some pool stairs so I don't... That's fair, yeah, I'll make pool stairs after I make the path. Ugh, I'm so fucking tired. I know I should sleep because I barely slept at all, but like... I want to play Minecraft. Okay, pool stairs. Oh, that looks funky. I don't like that. Why does it do that? It's not doing it up here. Okay, I guess it'll just look funky. It's just gonna be like that because I want pool stairs. It's honestly fair. I love sleep. Same, I also love sleep. I just want to play Minecraft at the moment. I probably will go in a minute because I'm really tired. Oh, that sucks. I'm glad you got a new one. Okay, I'm honestly probably gonna head out. I'm really tired. Just gonna, there we go. Yeah, okay. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry this wasn't very long, and also about the tiny screen. Ha det.